Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into someone truly fascinating, an enigma, really, Nikola Tesla.
Definitely an enigma.
We all know the inventions, the genius, but Tesla the man, he had some very peculiar habits.
Oh, yes. Very specific
And
rituals.
we're wondering, what if those weren't just quirks? What if there was a deeper secret, especially behind his obsession with the numbers 3, 6, and 9?
That quote of his is quite something, isn't it?
It really is. So let's dig into this. The sources we looked at, they detail some pretty specific stuff. Like he'd walk around a block exactly 3 times before going inside.
3 times, every time.
Yeah. And cleaning plates with 18 napkins, not 17, not 19, 18.
Which is, of course, divisible by 3 and 9.
Exactly. And the hotel rooms, only ones with numbers divisible by 3. He was apparently always calculating things, in his environment just to make sure the result was divisible by 3.
Doing, as the sources say, everything in sets of 3.
Right. Now, the easy explanation is, okay, maybe OCD, maybe superstition. Lots of brilliant people have quirks.
Sure, that's the surface level take.
But the material we've reviewed suggests, well, maybe the truth is a lot deeper. And then there's that quote you mentioned. If you knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the keys to the universe.
Keys to the universe. I mean, that's a huge claim.
It absolutely is. So what did he mean? That's what this deep dive is about. Why these numbers? What was he trying to tell us? And how does it connect to, well, maybe the fabric of reality itself?
Well, it starts with something pretty fundamental, doesn't it? Math.
Right. The idea that we didn't invent math, we discovered it.
Exactly. It's like this universal language, the underlying law. 1 plus 2 equals 3, always. Here, other side of the galaxy, doesn't matter.
Just a truth.
A fundamental truth, yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea is that everything in the universe seems to play by these mathematical rules, from tiny particles to massive star clusters.
That makes sense. Math as discovery, not invention. And you start seeing these patterns pop up everywhere in nature, right?
Oh, absolutely. Our sources really emphasize this. Think about spiral galaxies, seashells.
The golden ratio comes up a lot.
The golden ratio, sacred geometry.
Mm.
These patterns are just, well, there. In how things grow, how stars form, even evolution seems to follow certain mathematical pathways. They're not just abstract ideas. They seem to reflect a kind of deep order.
An underlying blueprint.
Precisely. And one key pattern that nature seems to love is the binary system, the power of 2. Start with 1, then double it.
1, 2, 4, 8, 16.
32, 64, and on it goes. It's how computers think, essentially.
Uh-huh.
But it's also, strikingly, how cells divide and embryos develop. This doubling pattern is fundamental.
Wow. So some people call this...
Some interpretations, yeah, call it the blueprint of God or God's thumbprint. The idea being that math itself reveals this inherent structure to everything.
Okay, so if math is this universal language and nature uses patterns like doubling, how do Tesla's numbers 3, 6, and 9 fit? Because they don't seem to pop up in that simple doubling sequence.
They don't. And that's where things get, let's say, less conventional. Our sources bring up something called vortex math.
Vortex math. Okay, what's that?
It's sometimes called the science of torus anatomy, which sounds complex, but think of it as mapping numerical patterns in a kind of continuous flowing loop, like a donut shape, a torus.
Right.
And within this system, a very specific repeating pattern emerges from that doubling sequence we talked about, but with a twist. It goes 1, 2, 4, 8, then 7, then 5, and back to 1.
Hang on. 1, 2, 4, 8, then 7 and 5. Where does 7 and 5 come from?
Okay, let's trace it. Double 1 is 2, double 2 is 4, double 4 is 8. Now double 8 is 16. In vortex math, you reduce multi-digit numbers by adding the digits.
Right.
So 1 plus 6 is 7.
Okay, got
The
it.
double 16 is 32. 3 plus 2 is 5.
Right.
Double 32 is 64. 6 plus 4 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1.
And we're back to the start. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. Looping.
Exactly. And what's immediately obvious?
3, 6, and 9. They're just not there. They're missing from that main loop.
Completely absent. Which begs the question, if they're so magnificent, where are they? Marco Rodin, who developed vortex math, had a pretty radical idea about this. He proposed that 3, 6, and 9 represent something else entirely. A vector from the third and fourth dimension.
Wow. Okay, unpack that.
Think of it like an influence from a higher reality. A pathway. He called it a flux field. An unseen energy that affects the other 6 numbers in the pattern.
A governing force, almost.
Sort of, yeah. Influencing the energy circuit, as he put it. And Randy Powell, who studied with Rodin, he linked this directly to Tesla, claiming this is the secret key to free energy.
Free energy, Tesla's holy grail.
Something Tesla was obsessed with and believed he'd figured out. Powell argues this mathematical insight was key.
So the main sequence is 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 3, 6, and 9 are outside that. What happens if you apply the same doubling logic to 3 and 6?
Good question. Let's try it. Double 3 gives you...
6.
Right. Now double 6.
12. And using the vortex math rule, 1 plus 2 is 3.
Exactly. So what pattern do you get?
3, 6, 3, 6. It just oscillates between 3 and 6.
It creates its own separate pattern. Still no 9.
Which leaves only 9. What's special about 9?
Now 9 is where it gets, as the source says, spectacular. Try doubling 9.
Okay, 9 doubled is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9.
Keep going. Double 18.
3 plus 6 is 9.
Double 36.
72. 7 plus 2 is 9. It just keeps coming back to 9.
Always. No matter how many times you double it and reduce it, it resolves to 9. It's self-contained. This is why some call it the symbol of enlightenment in this context.
It's completely free. It's not in the main 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 loop, and it's not in the 3, 6 oscillation either. It stands alone.
Exactly. It transcends both patterns.
Okay, this is getting pretty abstract. How does this connect back to, like, the real world or Tesla's thinking?
Well, proponents point to evidence in, say, ancient structures. Think about the Giza pyramids.
Right, the 3 big ones.
3 main pyramids, often said to align with Orion's belt.
Okay.
But there's also that group of 3 smaller pyramids nearby. Lots of 3s.
And you see 3s and 6s in nature too, right? Like hexagons and honeycombs, snowflakes.
Exactly. Nature uses 3-fold and 6-fold symmetry all the time. Ancient cultures seem to recognize this, building sacred sites using these geometric principles. It hints at a kind of universal significance.
So the question becomes, did Tesla tap into this? Did he understand this numerical secret, this magnificence, and use it somehow for his inventions?
That's the tantalizing possibility the sources explore, that this wasn't just numerology, but a key to understanding energy and vibration, maybe even manipulating them.
Okay, let's go back to the numbers themselves. You mentioned the main sequence 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and then 3 and 6 as maybe governing forces, and 9 as unity. How does that work?
Right, so imagine the main sequence as 2 sides of polarity, like north and south poles or positive and negative charge. One side is 1, 2, 4, the other side is 8, 7, 5.
Okay, opposing forces.
And the universe in this model is like the energy flowing between them. A pendulum swing, maybe tracing that infinity symbol shape.
And 3 and 6 are?
They're seen as governing these sides. Number 3 governs the 1, 2, 4 side. Number 6 governs the 8, 7, 5 side.
How? Is there a pattern there too?
There is, actually. It's a bit mind-bending. Look what happens when you add numbers across these polar pairs, following the sequence.
Okay, so start with 1 and 2.
1 plus 2 equals...
3. Okay, governed by 3.
Next there, 2 and 4.
That's 6, governed by 6.
Now 4 and 8.
12, which reduces to 1 plus 2, is 3. Back to 3.
Keep going. 8 and 7.
15. 1 plus 5 is 6. Back to 6.
7 and 5.
12 again, so 3.
And the last pair, wrapping around, 5 and 1.
Eh.
So what pattern emerged when we did that?
3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. It's that oscillation again, but at a higher level, bridging the two sides.
Exactly. It shows how 3 and 6 are intrinsically linked to the dynamics between these two polar opposites.
Wow, okay. And 9. Where does 9 fit into this governing layer?
9 is the ultimate unifier. Look at the governing numbers themselves, 3 and 6.
3 plus 6 equals 9.
And 6 plus 3 equals 9. It works if you add all the numbers in the main sequence. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 equals 27, which is 2 plus 7, 9. And it works if you include 3 and 6. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus 6, which is 3 plus 69.
Everything comes back to 9.
In this framework, yes.
Yeah.
9 represents the unity of the two sides, the whole system. 9 is the universe, in a way. The vibration, the energy, the frequency that Tesla talked about.
Which brings us right back to his most famous quote, doesn't it? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
It seems deeply connected to this numerical philosophy, yeah.
So looking back at everything we've unpacked, Tesla's habits, the walking 3 times, the 18 napkins, maybe they weren't just random.
Maybe they were a constant physical reminder for him,
Yeah.
a way of staying attuned to what he believed were these fundamental principles of the universe.
A kind of applied personal physics based on 3, 6, and 9. It sounds less like superstition now and more like deep conviction.
A conviction that these numbers held a key, not just mathematically, but maybe spiritually, technologically.
It definitely makes you rethink things. What if there really is this deeper, almost sacred geometry or numerology underlying reality?
And what could we achieve if we truly understood it? If we applied this kind of knowledge, like Tesla was trying to, in our science?
It's a pretty staggering thought. Which leads perfectly into one last quote from Tesla, something to really chew on.
Which one is that?
He predicted, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it'll make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence."
Wow. Non-physical phenomena. Maybe he thought understanding 3, 6, and 9 was the first step towards that.
Maybe it was. It certainly leaves you wondering.